What if someone's life is lost just because of making a video? Something similar happened with Amy Maria Arriaga. Amy's life was going great, but she had no idea that her entire life would change in the next 5 minutes. She would get stuck in a place where no one would be able to save her, and she would see darkness all around her, struggling for her life in just a few minutes. Welcome back to Voyage Vault. Amy Maria Arriaga, a seasoned cave explorer and videographer, had a passion for the unknown. She sought adventure in the most treacherous underwater caves. Amy loved adventure and exploring new things, which is why she called her friend Alessandro for an expedition. He was a diving expert and trainer. For this expedition, they selected Cenote Sikun. On November 26, 2016, Amy Maria led an expedition into Cenote Sikun, a labyrinthine underwater cave system renowned for its stunning formations and daunting challenges. With over 100 cave dives under her belt, Amy was no stranger to risk. Her passion for exploration drove her to capture breathtaking footage, but this dive would be her last. Amy's team consisted of experienced divers, including her close friend and expedition leader Alessandro. Together they navigated the Cenote's narrow passages, their lights illuminating the darkness. The water temperature was a chilly 78 degrees Fahrenheit, and the current was stronger than expected. Amy convinced Alessandro to let her lead the cave exploration. She wanted Alessandro to record her adventure as they moved forward, which proved to be Amy's biggest mistake. Alessandro agreed but warned her that they wouldn't exceed 40 feet in depth and would explore the cave directly. On November 26, they started diving at 11:26 a.m. As planned, Amy led the dive. They swam for 25 minutes, exploring new things underwater. Alessandro checked the air pressure first, and then ensured they didn't exceed 40 feet, the maximum depth limit. After checking, the diver gave Amy the green signal to proceed deeper. But Amy had no idea that this green signal would bring a big red stop sign to her life. They moved forward and came across two paths, one used by tourists and the other ignored due to its danger. The latter path was extremely hazardous, but Amy fearlessly chose it. As they moved forward, they saw something that left them stunned, a breathtaking natural view that neither had seen before. Amy wanted to record this adventure. Alessandro started recording, and they continued exploring. For the recording, they had to turn off the lights they were using to see around. They wanted natural light to capture the beauty of the scene, making the video stunning. Amy was thrilled to be creating this video, as no one had accomplished this feat before her. To record, Amy moved forward slightly, but forgot to turn on the lights that Alessandro had turned off. Ahead, she saw two paths, both leading into the cave. Amy didn't know which path to take. She tried to turn back, but the darkness prevented her from seeing anything. In the cave, they couldn't communicate verbally, so Alessandro didn't understand why Amy was behaving this way. If he had known, he would have guided her forward. Instead, Amy chose the left path and proceeded. Looking ahead, she still couldn't see anything behind her, and that's when the story took a dark turn. The cave was pitch black, and even with lights on, Amy could only see a little ahead of her. Alessandro started to feel uneasy, realizing something was wrong. Amy's primary light source suddenly malfunctioned, and she hesitated to switch to her backup light. Suddenly, she vanished into the darkness. Initially, she had doubts, but then she smiled, thinking her friend was with her. However, that wasn't the case. Amy started turning her light on and off, signaling for her friend to notice her. But even after waiting for a while, her friend didn't show up. She started worrying, thinking, "What has happened?" Alessandro also turned off the camera and turned on his lights, realizing Amy wasn't with him. Just minutes ago, they were together. Now Amy was nowhere to be found. This thought distressed Alessandro. He quickly sprang into action, searching for Amy, thinking, what if Amy panicked or got lost? Alessandro waited and searched for 3 minutes, but the darkness was so intense that he couldn't find her. Alessandro assumed Amy must have gone ahead, thinking she wanted to prove she could dive alone. Believing this, Alessandro moved away from the markings and proceeded forward toward the finish point. Later, he realized that moving away from the markings was his biggest mistake. Upon reaching the finish point, Alessandro searched for Amy but couldn't find her and started panicking. On the other side, Amy was trapped in darkness, repeatedly turning off and on her light, waiting desperately for her friend to rescue her, fearful yet reassuring herself that Alessandro, a perfect and special diver, would soon arrive and save her. This was Amy's last hope. Alessandro, upon reaching the endpoint thinking of how to retrieve Amy, he realizes his oxygen tank is going to be empty, the biggest danger. If Amy's tank also ran out, she would have died at the same time. Panic set in. The team frantically searched for Amy, but the cenote's maze-like passages made it impossible to locate her. Time was running out. Every minute counted. The rescue team was summoned and a desperate search ensued. Divers combed the cenote, navigating treacherous underwater caverns. The operation was hindered by poor visibility and strong currents. Imagine Amy's fear, trapped in the darkness, her air supply dwindling. After searching for some time, rescue team and Alessandro sees something floating, Amy's body. Alessandro's world shatters as he notices the air pipe is not in Amy's mouth. It's dangling in the water. This was the moment he realized he could still save her, but it was too late. Alessandro desperately tries to revive Amy, putting the breathing pipe in her mouth and attempting to give her air. He supports her in every way possible, hoping she'll breathe and survive. But it's too late. After 15 minutes of struggling, they manages to bring Amy's body to the surface, only to confirm her death. The diving community was shaken. Amy's family was left with unanswered questions. The investigation revealed shocking details. Amy's equipment was faulty, but other factors contributed to her demise. The cenote's unique geology and unpredictable currents played a role. Following this incident, the government revised safety protocols and warned drivers about the risks, ensuring no one else would lose their life making videos like Amy. Want to know about another incredible survival story? Watch 438 Days at Sea. The incredible story of Jose Salvador Alvarenga, where one man defied the odds, surviving 438 days in the ocean without food or water. We will meet there. Subscribe to Voyage Vault.